Right, I also wanted to do a quick video on replacing my DeLorean rear wheel bearings. There's a really good video on YouTube, about 21 minutes long, which is perfect, which is what I followed. Plus I got some great advice off people off the forum, so much appreciated for that. But I just wanted to show the people that it is possible to do it at home, DIY. So what you need to do is you basically need to pop off the centre cap of the wheel, just comes off basically with your fingers, and inside there's a 32mm socket that should be done up really tight. Like something stupid like £300 is it's excessively tight, but that's what it's for. So you need a 32mm socket on there and a 3/4 breaker bar, and ideally you should use some sort of extension like I've got here, which is that. So yeah, 32mm for mine anyway. Did that, undid that, and then undo the 4-wheel nuts. Then do the other side, and then lie underneath the car as it is, and then with the wheels on, and loosen off all these bolts here, whichever ones you want to take off, if you want to do both sets or just these ones here in terms of the inner and the outer ones. I'm actually replacing the hex ones here with the DeLorean Go ones here, which are much easier to fit because there's not much room basically, and it's just a better, neater thing, and you might as well, and they're dirt cheap, they're about £10 for all of them with the washers. So yeah, take that down there, just support it somewhere on another axle stand. Oh sorry, no, so you loosen it off, then you jack the car up. I suggest underneath there on a big thick piece of wood, support it on axle stand, make sure it's definitely safe. Then you can remove the wheels, and then you can remove these and then drop them down. Then you take off the calipers. So calipers are held on with like 16mm bolts, or they're something like 5/8 inch bolts, and they're quite tricky to get to. So what I've actually done is I've actually ordered some hex bolts as well. They're the same, I think it's 40mm long hex bolts, like M10 1.25 I think it might have been, but I've ordered some of those anyway to replace them, make it much easier, and it just looks neater as well for me. But yeah, support this, so you unclip the metal clip here for the brake line, and support the caliper nice and up here carefully at the way so it didn't break anything, damage anything. Now for me, I want to take off the entire hub, as you can see here, so I can clean it up because it had an under seal on, and I wanted also to replace nuts and bolts and washers and all that sort of stuff. So you haven't got to do that, you can just basically just drop this down so you can access the hub. But for me, I just took it off. So unbolt it here, unbolt the long bar here, unbolt this at the top here, and then that's it, pretty much that's it. Then the thing just comes off. So did that for both sides, got it off, and you can see here these are like the bolts. So my bolts are in pretty good condition. I've just literally ordered like new nuts and loads of M12 and M10 washers, so I can replace everything so it looks nice. Penny washers as well as the normal size ones here. My car uses a combination, and I swear that some of them are probably missing as well, because there seem to be a couple more on the opposite side. And they say that's the DeLorean D-bolt kit there. But yeah, and that will replace these ones here. And then so like I said, the caliper ones are these ones, which are say 16mm or possibly 5/8 of an inch possibly. And I say they're a bit of a fiddle to get out with the socket, because the socket gets caught on the hub. So that's why I'm saying I'm changing those over to the same hex type. And it's something like 40mm 1.25, something like that. Right, so that's cool. So those are now off. So head over here. I say I'll try and keep this video quick. And I say apologies for the quality and all that sort of stuff. Right, let's focus that. Cool. So as you can see, I've done the job and given the hubs a bit of a clean up as well. So what you do is you put the new bearings in the freezer, and so I left them in there for a few days. Job done. Want to get these off. This part here is normally still inside, so all you need to do for that is I just rest it on a piece of wood, and then you can use pretty much anything you want to, but this one here just fits perfectly in there. I mean, some people say screw this down and you can just hammer it, which you can just hammer it, I expect, but obviously this one here, boom, is absolutely perfect. So boom, hit that thing there, knocked out. On one of them, it brought out half of the inner bearing on it, and the other one didn't. So if it brings out any of the inner bearing, this is pretty easy. I've got my Dremel. Again, there's the guy on the video on YouTube showed me how to do this, and it just put a little cut in the bearing with obviously a quality Dremel, which is this one here to be precise. with that, and then literally just used a metal chisel and just knocked it off, and it just came off super easy. Well, not super easy, but it just knocked off, you know, bit by bit, perfectly fine. Took it out, cool. So that's then got these parts out. Then you can obviously got the disc off as well. This part here is on the back of the disc. For me, it was obviously held on by a little self-tapping, by a little screw. That was soft as cheese, so I think that's the whole point. So I had to drill that out and then re-tap that. That for me was an M61. So I've ordered some stainless steel M61 hex head ones to replace those, but I'll put it in with anti-seize, so it should be fine. And my car also has these spacers on the top there as well. I'm not sure if that's standard or not, but yeah, my car has the spacers on. And then there we go, and we get down to this. So it wasn't too bad to get these out. So one of my rings here was basically seized in, so no matter what I did, it just wasn't moving, so I had to sort of basically hit it. You can see here the damage, hit it out with a chisel just to sort of loosen it. Once it's loosened, got in there with circlip pliers, and yeah, hooked those out, no drama at all. Then you've got the bearing. So what you have to do with the bearing, again, this is explained really well on the other video, is that you have to just use a kit like this. So it's no drama at all. UK, about 30 quid for this kit. So use a combination of like this one here on the inside, and then you put some, so you pretty much do this here. I'll just show you this, right? It's pretty much that on the inside, and then you used one of these ones on the outside, and then something like this. It's kind of that combination there, basically, like that. And then obviously you put this on, and then all you do then is you just crank this up, and literally it just pulls the bearing from here upwards into this. So really, really easy. So again, that goes on the inside here. That goes this way. Okay, it rests on the inside. It won't do any damage because it literally rests there on the inside of the bearing. So that's fine. So that honestly, I just cranked it up with a large span is like 32mm, and that end there was at 27 or something, and it just pulled it out, and you rest say the cover on top here. It's perfect, and then give it a good old clean up, which I did, and then cleaned up the hub as well, as you can see here, much nicer. Put some oil on there, just sort of bicycle oil, just spread some bicycle oil all around the outside, and then pulled the bearing out quickly. Bit of oil around the bearing as well. Put the bearing in place. It drops down about 1 centimetre, say, and then you get the old bearing, which is underneath there in a bag. I've just kept for the moment, and literally put it on top. And then I just used the edge of a lump hammer. So I put this down here just on a piece of wood. That's all. And put the bearing on top, and then just literally hammered it down on the side, and then it just went down bit by bit, easy. And then when the old bearing goes into here, you also want to make sure you want to knock it in, 5mm, and then stop hammering, and then just lift the bearing up, make sure the bearing still comes up. Then knock it down another 5mm, make sure it still comes up, because you find that the bearing, obviously you don't want the bearing to get seized in there as well, and have to hammer it from the other side. So just keep doing that. Bit of oil on the old bearing as well, and then that went in. And then I found when it's all the way in, the old bearing was a little bit tight. Well, it was in there. So all I had to do was just knock it ever so slightly upwards on the side with a hammer, like that, bit by bit, and then literally it just pulls out. Put the new retaining ring, so put the retaining ring back in, obviously clean it up, ring back in, and then yeah, and that's it, job done. So now I can, I've painted those bits there. I can get this. I can knock this in a little bit from the inside, and then what you meant to do is then attach it all back onto the car, put the hub back on, and then as you then tighten the nut, it's then meant to sort of pull it all together. So I've just been advised, not to hammer this in too much, but obviously put a bit of oil on there and push it in. So just do it a bit of care. That's all when you put that back in. But yeah, apparently when you put it all together and then you tighten this down, it then just pulls it all together and sits nicely. So yeah, really no drama at all. I'm also going to clean out these holes as well later. So not those ones there, these ones here, the thread holes for the calipers, just so the bolts go back in again nice and easy, so it should be fine. Again, I've had to order many sets of different taps for this car, because there's many sizes which are 1.25 which don't come, which I didn't have in the kit. So yeah, I'll tap all those babies out, and then and that's it. I'm gonna put it back together again, and then happy days. So yeah, thanks everyone on the forum for the assistance. So that is what you need, and ideally if you've got this to hand here, is always handy to have that metal bar in there. Cool. Anyway, I hope that's of some use to people. And I say this took me probably about 6 hours altogether to get to this stage. And say now I can just put it back in again. So happy days. Much appreciated. Nice one. Cheers.